Tarot. Today, we're decoding the unseen patterns of a massive Super 8 clash between Pakistan and England. We're going to dig into the key momentum shifts, the big captaincy calls, and the hidden tactical battles that made this match one that everybody is talking about. You see, beyond the 4s and 6s, there was a war of strategy being waged. And we're going to pinpoint the exact moments where everything shifted, not just in the first innings, but in that nail-biting chase that followed. Okay, let's dive right in.
All right, so every great contest starts with the opening moves, right? In this first section, we're going to set the board and really understand the conditions for this high-stakes game, starting with a decision that really went against the expected play. So right off the bat, Pakistan wins a toss and makes a huge call to bat first. Now, on a fresh, rock-hard Palakelli pitch, the thinking is pretty clear. Get a big total on the board and let the pressure do the work. But here's the thing. This was the first time in 5 matches here that a team chose to bat. It's a bold opening move that goes completely against the recent trend of chasing. We're going to break down exactly how England wrestled back control, and in doing so, set the stage for the tense, strategic chase that was about to unfold. Okay, let's get into the first 6 overs, the power play. You know, this isn't just about smashing runs. It's about stamping your authority on the game. In England? Well, they came in with a very specific and, as we'll see, a very effective plan. The first blow comes quick. Jofra Archer fires in a perfectly aimed bouncer, and Siem Ayub is gone. Then, just an over later, England completely flips the script. They bring on the left-arm spin of Liam Dawson, who immediately gets the Pakistan captain. It's a classic 1-2 punch before Babar Azam lands a couple of counter-punches just to steady the ship. And this right here perfectly shows England's thinking. It wasn't just one plan. It was a 2-pronged attack. You had Archer using raw pace and that intimidating bounce to create doubt. And then, boom, Dawson comes in, takes all the pace off the ball, and uses pure deception to lure the batsman into a mistake. Just a beautifully executed combination. So once the power play chaos is over and the field spreads out, the game completely changes. It becomes a more subtle, more psychological battle. This is what we call the middle overs squeeze. Now, what's fascinating here is how the whole tempo shifts. You've got Babar Azam, the veteran, and Sahibzad Farhan trying to rebuild, but England doesn't give them an inch. They bring on Adil Rashid, and the game plan changes from all-out attack to just slowly building pressure, dot ball by dot ball, literally strangling the run rate. You know, every match has a turning point. Sometimes it's a massive 6 or a brilliant catch. But in this game, the single most important moment of the first innings, it was quieter. It was more subtle, an invisible moment that completely swung the momentum. So you have to ask, where did it all change? Was it Archer's first wicket? Dawson's? No. The real shift, the one that truly mattered, happened later. And it was a direct result of that slow, suffocating pressure we were just talking about. Okay, let's put this under the microscope. We're at 10.5 overs. Jamie Overton bowls what looks like a standard length ball. But on this pitch, it doesn't bounce as expected. It skids on low. Babar, he's looking to break the shackles. He plays across the line, and he completely misses it. The bounce beat him, and the result is that beautiful sound of timber. And just like that, Pakistan's anchor, their most experienced batsman, is gone. This wasn't just another wicket. This was the strategy paying off. The pressure that England had been building for overs, it forced the error. This was the moment the balance of the entire innings tipped. So that's the story you see on the field. But let's look beyond that and see what the data tells us. Because the patterns, well, they were hiding there in plain sight all along. Remember Salman Agha's dismissal earlier? Well, this chart explains the tactical genius behind it. You see, Agha is absolutely dominant against spin, striking at almost 160. But against pace, that number drops way down. England clearly knew this. They gave him a dose of pace and then brought on the spinner, Dawson, to bait him into a high-risk shot. It was a perfectly laid, data-driven trap. And now, let's look at Archer. Everyone talks about his speed, but his real weapon? It's control. Look at this chart. That good length between 6 and 8 meters, it's a nightmare for batsmen. It's too full to go back to, but too short to drive. And from that exact length, Archer was only giving away about 4.5 runs and over. He just gave them nothing to hit. And here, this is the invisible weapon. It's not just about length and bounce. It's movement. C movement is when the ball zips sideways off the pitch, and Archer was getting the second most movement of any pacer in the entire tournament. It's that tiny deviation, just a few centimeters, that plants a seed of doubt in a batsman's mind. That, right there, is world-class skill.
So, their captain's gone. The innings is at a real crossroads. What did Babar Azam's dismissal actually mean for Pakistan's final score? Let's analyze the ripple effect, which really sets the table for the entire second half of this match.
See, Babar's wicket wasn't just one man out. It sent shockwaves. It exposed the middle order to a pressure cooker situation way earlier than they would have wanted. The required run rate is now climbing, forcing the new guys to take risks, and most importantly, England is now completely in the driver's seat, dictating the tempo. In the end, Pakistan could only scramble to a subpar total, leaving their bowlers with a very tough job ahead. And this brings us to the chase. The pressure now shifts entirely onto England's shoulders. You see, chasing even a moderate total in a knockout game is a pure test of nerve. Pakistan's only way back into this was to apply the same kind of relentless pressure that England did, right from ball one.
So, the key pattern to watch in that second innings was the constant tug-of-war between the climbing required run rate and England's actual run rate. It created this pressure cooker environment. And the big question was, who was going to crack first? And you know what? It wasn't a batsman or a bowler. It was a captaincy decision. The hidden tactical mistake, it came in the 14th over. With the game hanging in the balance, Pakistan's captain chose to bowl a part-timer instead of one of his main strike bowlers. That over went for 17 runs. The win probability, which had been sitting at about 50-50, just swung decisively to 75% in England's favor. In one over, all the pressure that had been building was released, and after that, the chase was pretty much a formality. That single decision shows how one tactical error can undo an entire innings of hard work. This result really tightens up the group, puts massive pressure on Pakistan for their next game, and shows just how deep England are. So for us, Babar's dismissal was the turning point of the first innings, and that 14th over was the critical mistake in the second. Do you agree? What moment changed the match for you? Let me know in the comments below.